Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. For this video we're having our daily talk. Well, I'm starting to do these daily talks here regardless of how many views I get in this ones, but I'm just enjoying having just a little chat, doing this and that. Just a little chill time, little chill time. But as you can see, I'm just playing squad battles, just trying to get some objectives done. Doesn't really matter how, but in any case, let's get started with the daily talk. And today we really have to talk about England again. And I know I talked about him yesterday, considering just my thoughts on Europe. But now that the game against Slovenia happened, I'm genuinely curious then, are they even going to survive the first game? Because honestly, I don't really see it happening right now. The way I see it, England literally have little hope to advance anywhere past the round of 16. I honestly believe that. So let me take a look here at the Euro brackets here. Euro 2024 bracket. Let's see here. Let's see if they have the image here. They don't have any that are updated, I don't think. But okay, well, either way, England already made it out of the first group. So and okay, look, here's the thing. There's something weird about England as a whole that I think it's kind of hard to explain. Well, I mean, it's not hard to explain, but it's hard to understand why it's still this way, right? Because here's the thing. I think many of us who follow this team understand what the problem is. We understand, what the issues are. We know that, England for the most part just have a bit of an issue when it comes to just change, I think. Because most of the problems that you see in England's like personnel or England's tactics and stuff like that, it's like nothing changed. And honestly, I don't even see it changing in the near future whatsoever, because nothing seems to work for them right now. Like everything that they've tried to do, the only big major change that they did was having Mainu subbed in at halftime. And then he brought in a big change into like some of the attack. Yeah, and even then, when they brought in Cole Palmer, even though he didn't play like super well, at least he was creating chances. At least he was trying to like go up. But once again, it's like what I mentioned yesterday. England is a very offensive-minded team on paper, but Southgate is running a whole defensively safe, very careful football, which is definitely something you shouldn't be doing. I think in any era of the sport, in any era, being defensive pretty much means that the other team will have more opportunities to strike back. And if you it's the same principle as like trying to deal with like an animal or something, right? If you show like signs of weakness, if you show signs of like if you like show that to a predator, right, to like an animal predator, right? If you're the prey, you don't want to show any signs of weakness, otherwise they'll take advantage of you, right? Or if you're like in a fight or something, you don't want to show any weakness, otherwise they'll take advantage of you. England is doing the same thing. They're dropping back, they're playing safe, but because they're playing safe, that means that the other team is also getting possession. They're getting enough chances, they're getting enough opportunities, and so as a result, England is getting hit with chances that if they would have scored, then for all it's worth, they're gonna end up losing that game. So that's pretty much where we end up right now. We're with England having 5 points, and having 5 points and being on top of the group doesn't mean much, because that means they literally could have gone to anybody, right? Because if I take a look right now, right, I take a look at the standings for the Euro, right? Euro 2024 standings, right? If we look here, let me actually just take off the video capture here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. You'll see that England has 5 points. Denmark has 3. Slovenia has 3. Serbia has 3, right? And so let's take a look at the matches, right, that they had yesterday. Serbia, if they would have won, and if say Slovenia actually did score a goal against Serbia, or I mean against England, and Serbia scored, then on all likelihood, then that means that, you know, as the standings were, Serbia would have 4 points by the end of it all. England would have 4, and due to goal difference, it would have to be probably England anyways. But, you know, it would have been too disciplined if it went up another goal, if it went up to this and that. Oh no, actually it would have dropped to 0 if England would have lost. And then if Serbia would have scored the goal, that would have gone to 0. That, yeah, it would have gone to discipline, which I don't know who has more yellow cards. It'll likely be Serbia. But either way, Serbia could have gone up there. Denmark could have overtaken England as first place. Slovenia could have taken over England in first place. And, you know, that would have been a bad situation for England, because I think one of the slots that England, that, you know, it's an England side, would have been on the side of where pretty much all the other like top teams right now are right now, like Spain, Germany, France, and Portugal are in the same side of the bracket. So let me see if I can kind of look here. Euro playoff bracket. Sounds American, right? But oh, here we go. Bracket view. Maybe we can take a look here. So we look at the bracket. You'll see that, yeah. So on one side, you see right here Spain. See, if it was third place either from A, D, E, or F, and then the A, B, C, right? I believe that in the standings, England is in Group E, right? No, Group D. Group F? Group C. There we go. Group C. So if they would have gone to third place, they would have gone up against Portugal on the first match. And Portugal, as they are right now, and they're going to play tonight, they are much more better than England right now. At least they have a formula, even with Ronaldo in there, right? And I've always been I've kind of been a critic of Ronaldo playing like his games right now, but like so far they've figured it out, I guess. So, you know, I can't really blame him too much now. But either way, England would have gone up against Portugal in the first game, right? But now they're up here, ready to face up against third from D, E, or F, whoever takes that third place spot, right? So let's take a look at D, E, and F, right? D, E, and F right here. Third place for that would have been, the third place for this one would be the Netherlands in this case, right? Slovakia. See, this group, this is what I mean, right? This group could literally change everything, because we're looking at this group right here, and we're saying that, like, you know, Czechia might have a chance. The goal difference is -1. The goal difference is 0 for the Netherlands. So if Czechia manages to win, against let's see who they're up against. They're up against Turkey, which I don't think they're gonna win. But if Czechia for some reason managed to pull off maybe like a 2-0 victory, then they'll have the advantage over the Netherlands in that regard, and they'll probably take that spot, you know. And then of course A, B, C, and D, which I guess D could also, you know, be taken on that spot as well, which is kind of weird. Let's go to Euro standings. Let's take a look here. So Hungary are still in the contention, 3. Slovenia will probably be there too. Slovakia will probably be there as well, right? And then of course Czechia have the opportunity to overtake any of them. Of course, it really just depends. If they all draw right here, then they'll probably guarantee themselves a spot on that slot, right? But I don't know. Something is like, it's just so bizarre looking at that, right? Because the bracket view, Yeah, there's plenty of spots left. That's the thing, right? So either way, it doesn't really matter. I guess we'll have to wait and see, right? Because the way they formatted this whole thing, it's kind of bizarre. But in any case, safe to say that whoever goes up against England in that slot, whether it be the Netherlands, whether it be Slovakia, probably, whether it be whether it be Slovakia, Netherlands, or whoever makes it out of the Group F if they manage to, because they definitely could overtake Slovenia. They could overtake Hungary. So all it takes is a win from either Czechia or Georgia, I think. So if Georgia and Czechia like overtake themselves, they overtake whoever they go up against. Like Georgia taking if Georgia beats Portugal basically, and Czechia win against Turkey, then this either one of those two could change the brackets, right? So Georgia still technically has a chance. They just need to win. They have to win against Portugal, and just hope that Czechia lose against Turkey. That's their best chance, I believe, because then they'll overtake either Slovenia for that Group C spot, or they'll overtake Hungary for that Group A spot, or actually I don't know, maybe, or they'll overtake either Slovakia or Ukraine depending on the results of that match. So everything will depend on today, basically. So we'll have to wait and see. But anyways, back to my original point before I went on the tangent there. England are not looking good, and it's something that Nick, despite him being American, and I'm sure Goldbridge has mentioned the same thing. I haven't seen his rant video yet on England, but it's the same thing, man. It's the same kind of like expectation. It's the same kind of like response, right, to this whole thing. 1, there's no passion. 2, this is boring football. 3, they're playing it too safe. And 4, in very forefront, that this is the year that Southgate has to go. He has to leave. And I'm in complete agreement with that. I actually do agree with that wholeheartedly, because he's probably the main reason why this is going on, right? And, we mentioned back many times, right? We always make fun of the idea of like the whole Calvin Phillips thing, right? For one, that's such a weird name to bring up, right? And I never really went into full detail yesterday about that, but the whole Calvin Phillips thing, like, why? That just makes little to no sense, right? First of all, if you really wanted Calvin Phillips, why didn't you just pick him up, right? If that was the whole issue, right? If you couldn't find a player like Calvin Phillips, then just get Calvin Phillips. Jeez, right? It's not that hard, I don't think. Second of all, if that was the main issue, then I don't know, man. Like, if that's one of the main issues, then it pretty much tells you what kind of system he's running, because he's talking about like they don't have a good like like hold back player, I guess, like Calvin Phillips, because Calvin Phillips is that kind of player. He's a CDM, right? He's just a center mid who like it's mainly defensive, but it's that same problem. Calvin Phillips is, if he's a holding midfielder, like holding DM, then what that tells me is that he still has that belief that if they had Calvin Phillips, they'll be playing even more safer football, right? Because that just means they have a more defensive minded player playing defense, playing safe to keep, playing safekeeping. And so that also has a question of like, well, that just means they really don't want to attack then, because Southgate doesn't want to attack anymore. And so it's such a conflicting thing. Like, again, I had England at least making it to semifinals originally when this whole tournament started, because I thought the potential, I thought the talent, their form, I thought Southgate would have a brain cell to be able to like, put this team together, make sure you play to their strengths and not their weaknesses, make sure you play them in their best position. But the problem is that the way he chose the players and the positions that he chose the players to play just doesn't match them, right? He chose Phil Foden, he chose Cole Palmer, he chose, Jude Bellingham, he chose all these players. All those are pretty much attack-minded midfielders, but that's exactly it. They're midfielders. They're central midfielders for the most part. And so, attacking central midfielders have to pretty much play in their natural position, which is the camp position. but playing Phil Foden at left wing does not equate well. Harry Kane, I love the guy, right? I love Harry Kane, right? He's a great striker. He's an amazing striker. He's one of my favorite strikers. The problem is that he keeps dropping back, because he's having to help the midfield. He literally has to go back out of his way to go back and help the midfield create plays. That's not what he should be doing. He should not be doing that. He's a striker, for Pete's sake, As a striker, you're supposed to be up front, getting ready to attack, getting ready to tap that goal. And it's just not doing that because he feels the need to go back, help them out a bit, create plays. And then, who are in front? The two wingers, Phil Foden and Saka. But those guys are in the wing and there's nobody in the middle. So therefore there's no player in there to find except for each winger. And, winger to winger, you're not going to find that many opportunities, especially when the defense comes back. You need that third person. You need that striker. And the problem is Harry Kane just doesn't have enough speed to be able to keep up. So either way, it's not like he's going to be able to make it in time to hit that goal. He's just going to, he has to stay back, and then Jude Bellingham has to kind of cover for him. But by that point, they're already there and the defense is already there. So by that point, it's already too late. So that's what I'm saying. The whole system is kind of messed up, right? And Nick mentioned this as well, right? That when they subbed in Ollie Watkins, that completely changed a lot, right? Because it brought in a new element of offense, right? And that's exactly what they need. They need a spark of offense to get them going, because the way they're the way they are programmed is that they're supposed to run the offense. They're supposed to run, right? They're supposed to make it forward, go on the attack, get it moving. They need to start creating opportunities. They need to start making goal scoring opportunities, right? And that's not what they're doing. They're just dropping back. They're just dropping back and letting the other team, I don't know, tire themselves out, or I don't know what they're really looking forward to doing with all that. But I will say it's just not working out right now. And it's just not it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And so you're in the mindset right now of every English fan, right? You're thinking to yourself, well, then what are you supposed to do, right? What are we supposed to do? We're already in the tournament. We're already in the round of 16. Well, all I can really tell you guys is I just hope you're ready to see your team lose, England. And I'm not saying that as a kind of an insult. I'm just warning you, because this England team, it's just not good, man. Just not good. It's just not good, right? And I'm firmly in the belief that even if England do make it out of this group, or at least this next game in the bracket, it's going to be left with a lot more question marks than answers, right? Because it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the same format. It's going to be the same system. Nothing's really going to change. And that's what I think. Nothing's really going to change about that. They're going to still play the same type of football. They're just not going to change anything. They're gonna try to make something different. See, because that's the thing, right? I remember when there was a report that Southgate said he was going to drastically change the team, right? He was going to make a drastic change. What was his drastic change, by the way? He didn't start Trent. He still put Kyle Walker. He put Conor Gallagher at midfield, and he added in Kieran Trippier and Guehi as one of the center backs, right? I think he's always been there, right? But I'm not entirely positive. And that's it. That's all the changes he's made. Nothing drastic. It's the same system. You can change the players, but you can't really change the system out of the guy, right? You can put as many different people in you want, but if they play it to your system, the result's not going to change, right? You can really, maybe it's just the offense, right? Again, Ollie Watkins, Kobe Mainu. If you add that kind of dynamic, impact then yeah, I can see why it could probably change. But overall, the system is still the same. You're still dropping back. You're still playing this safe keep football, and it's just not working out, man. It's just not working out. It's not ideal, right? So overall, if we're talking about England's chances of winning the Euros, it went from like for me, it started at around like maybe 70%, like winning. They were definitely a favorite, right? And I thought even with that 70%, maybe they'll find a way to get into the semifinals and this and that, right? Now the chances for them winning, considering how they performed before yesterday's game, it was about 40%, 30% more or less, right? Because I thought maybe there's that benefit of the doubt where like, oh, even if they do manage to they might be able to make those changes, and then we'll see whether those changes actually materialized. And then cut back to today, and my chances for them winning is about like 10%, right? It's about 10% right now. That's how low I put them right now. And honestly, I could put them a bit more lower, but I don't know who they're going up against, and that could kind of change it a bit, even though I still think that any team in their form right now could still beat them up. So yeah, it's a bit of a weird thing. In any case, that's pretty much it for my daily talk today. Let me know if you guys have any thoughts on the England team. What do you guys think of them? Do you think they're going to win despite them? Do you think this safe football is a way to win? I mean, it'll probably be a way to win, but it'll be the boring way to win, And, you wouldn't really care. A result is a result, right? But, yeah, it just doesn't feel right? It just doesn't feel good. But in any case, let me know what you guys think. And with that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. If there are any topics, whether it be football, whether it be games, anime, anything like that, or just any topic in general, just not politics. But yeah, just let me know in the comments, and I'll probably talk about that in the next video. But yeah, with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. See ya.